standing up all day, or I've been sitting on a couch all day or sitting at my desk all day doing homework and now my back hurts. Okay, well, what are you going to do to fix this? What are you going to do to take responsibility for yourself? Everyone's busy. I get it. I'm busy. Young's busy. All you TLF people out there and all you Wellbeing Nation people out there, y'all are busy as hell. But you have to do something. You have to understand what needs to get done in your day. For me, I got to wake my ass up at 4 a.m., get some stuff done, take a nap again, meditate, wake back up and go down and go for class. And then I have to work out later in the day. And then I have to mobilize again at night before I sleep and breathe. If I don't, I'm going to feel like shit. And so you have to figure out exactly what you need to do, but you got to do it. You got to do it. And that's the only way. That's the only way you can take responsibility for yourself. But not only that, actually live a life where you feel more fulfilled, where you feel like you're in control. Because most of the time, most of us feel out of control. Like we are slaves to something else. We're not sovereign over our bodies. We're telling the doctor to solve all our problems. We're telling our parents, hey, what can I do to quickly fix this? We're asking the trainer, hey, give me 2 tips to change this body fat thing I have around my neck. I'm like, that's not going to work that way, dude. 2 tips? Are you kidding me? Like, it has to really be from the inside out. And I know that everyone around me, and I know that even Young has experienced this, is the more we try to find shortcuts, the more like life, the more our body will bite us back in the ass so hard and say, yo, go back to square one. You can't find a shortcut. You better go back to square one and start working on this from the inside out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know what else to say or add on to that, but I mean it's the nail pretty much on the head. Because I mean, there have been times when I think it was that one weekend where I think it was pretty much I was working out too fast, too hard, and I hurt myself, and I was like, oh my God, I think pretty much it got to the point where we were trying to open my upper body back out, and my arm got locked into place just trying to stretch out, and we literally had to take the softballs and pretty much dig my tissue down and pretty much open up as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, you really got to take it easy, but do the movements correctly.
Yeah, that's another thing that I've learned over the years for myself is the more patient I am with movement, the more rewarding it is. And there was a beautiful saying, a beautiful meme posted recently that said that if you can't do it slow, you can't do it fast. And it's so damn true. I remember hurting myself on a deadlift probably like 8 years ago now. I was lifting heavy and I definitely wasn't ready for it because I couldn't get into the right position. I wasn't mobile enough to get my hips in the right position. So I would lift, but my knees weren't back enough. I wasn't able to connect to my hamstrings enough. I wasn't bracing properly. And I tried to lift this weight. I think I was at Westwood at the time. And coming up, I just heard this big pop in my left hip. And I just dropped the weight and fell back down to the ground. This is me attempting 315 for the first time. I fell back down to the ground and I was just writhing in pain. Just like, what the fuck was that? Just holding my hip, and I stood back up and I just collapsed back down to the ground. I'm like, what happened? I've never experienced this in my life before, even like all my years of playing basketball and being an athlete. And I remember approaching the interwebs immediately as I was on the floor on my smartphone. Like, what the hell do I do? That's a crazy thought, even to even think that we have these smartphones that can do whatever we want them to do now. But anyway, a side note. Yeah, I looked on the internet, and the first thing I saw was, you're not mobile enough. I hated seeing that because to me, I'm like, oh, that's just weak, man. I'm just weak. But really, there is no weakness in being mobile. And in essence, you're actually stronger when you're able to be more mobile. When you can get into a better position, you're able to create more force over a longer distance, a longer range of motion, versus like being able to create force with 2 inches. There's a big difference. You can pack a lot more punch when you squat from ass to grass to all the way up, or when you deadlift all the way down to the ground and up. You can pack a lot more athleticism. Your vertical jump will improve. Your sprinting speed will improve. The ability to transfer force from your legs to your core to your arms will improve. All of it improves just because now you're more mobile. But that's not enough. I have to take it a step further. After you gain the mobility and take time to do that every single day, now you have to really go inward and figure out, well, how can I cue the necessary things to stay braced? The pelvic floor, getting your obliques on, getting your upper abdominals on, being able to brace your spine in the right position, being able to get your hamstrings on. There's so much that goes into movements, and people just want to rush it. They want to rush it because they want to look cool. They want to look cool in front of people, or they want to get it done. They want to say they got this whole workout done, but that's not the point. When I put a workout up on the board, I don't expect everyone to make it through. If they get through the first half, I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome. You took enough time to get to the first half and you were able to focus on it. But if you rush too quickly, then that's where injuries begin to happen, because you omit things. Your body's not ready yet to do what your mind thinks it can do. You got to be exactly where you are. And wherever you are is where you need to be, because you haven't been able to address what it is to be able to go to the next level. It's like a video game. It's like if you're playing Zelda, you played Final Fantasy before, Final Fantasy 7, or any of those RPG games, and you're like, man, why can't I get to the damn next level? Can't figure this thing out. It's because you haven't done something yet. And if you haven't done that thing, you can't advance. You can't get to the next spot. You can't save the princess. You can't go do the damn thing, That's like really
funny.
Yeah, so anyway, I thought that was very important. But I do want to touch on some things that I'm beginning to implement in my life, and I wanted to get Young's input and what he plans to implement in his life from now on till from the new year till all the way to 2017. Shoot. And one thing I'll say I've been implementing is, this is going to sound really weird and strange to most of you, but I've begun to do the coconut oil swishing. I think it's called oil swishing, So you basically take some coconut oil in a spoon and a little dab of it, and you put it in your mouth, and you just swish around back and forth. It's like your mouthwash, and you swish for like 15 to 20 minutes. And when you're done, you take it and you spit it out in the trash, because you don't want to put that stuff down the sink. And it's supposed to be one of the most amazing things for your gum health, for your teeth. Some of the things I have gained from it, and I'll tell you what the science says, and I'll tell you what I've gained from it. But what I've gained from it is my teeth feel whiter. I feel like my teeth feel stronger. It's like after the feeling you get whenever you go to like the dentist's office and you get a cleaning, you're like, wow, my teeth feel strong. They feel like they're more solid, not so like shaky and stuff. They feel stronger. They feel like I had just flossed. I think that's what it feels like every single time I do it. It feels cleaner. It feels the same feeling of brushing my teeth with toothpaste, but without that strong mint taste. It just feels clean. Like there's enough saliva. Breath feels better. Everything just feels better. But beyond that, this is kind of cool. My head feels clear. My sinuses feel clear. I didn't even know I was congested a little bit until I did the coconut oil swish. I was like, wow, I think I was more congested before this, because now I feel, my sinuses are clear. So that's been a pretty cool life change for me, just doing coconut oil swishes every day. I've been doing it for the past 2.5 to 3 months. That's been pretty amazing, so I'm pretty happy with that habit. I've been doing full cold water showers now. I used to do some cold, hot stuff. Now I go straight cold. I make noises. I don't know if can you hear me in the morning?
No, not really. I mean, I'm so far away that I really don't know.
Okay, cool, because I'm making all sorts of noises. I'm like making like warrior noises, like hoo, hoo, hoo. I could do this, hoo, like bracing myself in the shower to get through it. And over time, I've learned to enhance my breathing while I'm going through it. And yeah, I want to back up a little bit towards the oil swishing. With the oil swishing, the science says is that it seems to be a lot of evidence showing that people tend to feel cleaner in their mouth. Their teeth become whiter. Gum disease starts to revert a little bit. So a lot of the gingivitis that most people have starts to revert. But there hasn't been enough studies done on it. There's more anecdotal evidence out there. There's been some incidences of people inhaling the oil and then it getting into the lungs, which it's rare. If you're mindful of it and you're swishing it around your mouth and you're not just like laying back on your back, I think you're going to be okay. But for the most part, the science shows some really positive stuff about it, and a lot of the anecdotal stuff shows a lot of positive response. So try it for yourself if you feel inspired. You can look up some more on oil swishing online. It's been around for years. It's been a tradition since forever. I think it started in India, and it's been around for so long. But the cold water showers has been freaking amazing too. People are terrified of it. I always talk about how amazing it is. And there was actually a recent study done by the Thrombosis Institute saying that people that do cold water immersion or cold water plunges or showers tend to have stronger immune systems, higher white blood cell counts. Definitely your skin gets tighter because your skin cells have to constrict, your pores constrict. But beyond that, when you're taking a cold shower, blood has to shunt to your organs to keep them warm, to keep your core temperature warm. And then when you get out, the blood shunts back to your skin to warm up your skin as well. So the blood goes back and forth between your organs and your skin, and it gives you this kind of like awesome massage of this beautiful blood flow that's going back and forth. And that's why you begin to feel really good. And if you can hang out in the cold for a little longer, like if you can hang out for like the whole 10 minutes there in the shower, you'll feel some magical stuff. At least I can say that for myself. The cold showers, the oil swishing, and the last thing that I'll say that I've implemented is I've been hanging on the Olympic rings for about 4 minutes a day. So I'll just do a dead hang. And the more I do that, again, I feel like my head is clearer. My shoulders are more relaxed. My shoulder mobility is better. My shoulder blades are able to move and retract back and forth better. Less popping and clicking in my shoulders. Those are 3 habits that I've implemented that have made all the difference. And I definitely invite you all to try that. Anyway, hanging, oil swishing, and cold showers. If you can't go all the way, that's fine. Start warm, lather up in the warm water, and then go cold for like 30 seconds. The next week, build up to like a minute. The next week, build up to a minute 30. Just keep going like it's a freaking workout. But yeah, Young, I'm going to ask you, man, what do you plan on implementing this next year? Like, what is something? It could be a system. It could be a habit. It could be anything.
Oh, man, I was sitting here trying to think about it this whole time you were talking about it. I guess my thing that I really want to do is from the beginning of when we first started, you told me to change one thing, and it was just drink more water. So, I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's actually kind of hard because you literally skip when you're walking around or going through different classes here and there. I really don't drink as much water as I used to.
Yeah, plus it's colder out there.
Yeah, it's cold now. So I mean, what I really want to do is, I mean, I want to start with water. I mean, you talked about it earlier, like what we could do, going back to basics. I mean, basics for me is, I mean, drinking water. I mean, I feel like if I can stick with drinking water and keep, at a consistent pace, I mean, I can do anything, I mean, at the beginning when we first started working, I didn't really think I could ever deadlift, 315. I think we got that too. I mean, that was I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to bench 225. I mean,